Hi, and welcome to my video covering the release of Trials of Allegiance. Luckily, Paradox was kind enough to give me early access to the DLC. So today I'm going to be showing off what I think is a pretty fun Brazil path in which we're going to try to get some achievements and hopefully do a mixed playthrough meets achievement run guide video. In total, the end goal is to stay somewhat historical to what happened in the actual World War II, but maybe with some alt history caveats to really make sure Brazil secures a victory. With that all being said, let's begin. And so here we are on the nice new front screen, and I don't know, I like how this feels like a mix between Man the Guns on the bottom right and By Blood Alone with the planes on the left, with a very dramatic, I'm not sure if sunrise or sunset, on the horizon. As I said at the start, we're going to be playing as Brazil, and with all of the negative things that follows with it. But we'll get that all under control and more. Stick it on Iron Man and, oh yeah, Brazil is now called the Second Brazilian Republic. No longer just Brazil, planted across the screen. Let's begin. So before we begin, shall we take a look at some of the achievements we're going to be aiming for as we progress through the game. The primary goal of this run is to achieve I'm Home, as Brazil occupy every core of Portugal. I think there's a pretty straightforward way to do this, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Further up, I'd like to get Anne the Snake smoked, as Brazil, in the Allies, capitulate Germany while controlling Berlin. This one might take a little bit more finesse, but is by no means difficult. But there are of course other achievements in here that we could find ourselves going for, so Rumble in the Jungle, very much so still possible. I guess I'll just have to see what we can achieve. And in order to embark upon this great quest, the video title probably spoiled it, but the main aim of the game is to end the state of emergency and romanticise imperial history. Because what is Hoi for if you don't take the monarchist path? We begin by ending the state of emergency. Nobody likes negative debuffs. Legacy of the Naval Arms Race, separatist sentiments, the Monroe Doctrine, undiversified economy, weak government, and a state of emergency. Well, it's good to see that Brazil got buffed in this DLC. Oh yes, and we also have bandits in the northeast of the country that we have to deal with. These guys could be a problem if we chose to ignore them, but we're probably going to have to get rid of them. With romanticised imperial history done, we now get to decide which monarch we want to go with. Pedro or Pedro? Pick your poison. Considering I already know who Pedro Henrique is, I think I'm going to go with the Alcantras, the once exiled house. May yet return. I also kind of just want to see what the portrait looks like. Also, for some fantastic reason, we have access to Gustavo Barrosa, who gives us 1.5 recruitable population, positive war support, and some really good buffs all around, including to Mills. Yeah, I will be taking that guy. Thank you very much. Whoa, we've got our Lindo on the scene. My man is styling right now. Sheesh. Since we're still waiting on party popularity for monarchism, we can use this time to actually go deal with the bandits. Better now than ever, and we can also help the economy in the process. Spanish Civil War. Oh, I really like this teacup icon. Maybe it's the Brit in me that's interested. It's probably coffee, that's the thing, but I still like it all the same. Monarchy compromised, and that means Dom Pedro is on the way. Not quite in power though, just a constitutional monarchy, but you know, nothing lasts forever, right? We can just start to undermine democracy. The Kingdom of Brazil. The world is healing. So we've actually got some time to kill before we can take the next focus, utilising the national security law to install a true monarchy. So in the meantime, there's other stuff we need to do, like bribe the military, so we can remove the weak government. Ooh, the bandits carried out an operation. Luckily they're just a nuisance. Because they take an operation every 1 year, you can kind of time when you want to finally take out the bandits in line with this timer. So there's currently no rush because we've already passed the first threshold, so you might as well just wait it out for the next one. Weak government removed. Time for a research slot. I kind of ran out of patience and I'm just going with the raid strategy. We're going to get into a monarchy very, very soon. I'm determined. Okay, bandits, for real this time. Get the radio, then get bandits. Oh, it gives you the technology radio. Okay, it's not worth researching radio then. That's good to remember. Oh, that's a new news event. Moreno takes power in Paraguay after dissatisfaction with the leadership. Oh, they're not communist anymore. Dealing with the bandits has been complete, which means we can finally put an end to these menaces. And we should have enough time to get everything done. And that also means we have now arrived at the time to get the monarchy truly going. Say goodbye to Drippy Arlindo, we hardly knew him. Oh goodness me, everything's happening. Right, so I think we are now the Kingdom of Brazil. Research is done, a successful operation, which means the timer gets set back and we can do another. We've got plenty of command power, so that's not an issue. Ah, and there is the king himself, Pedro the White Dove. Kind of a peaceful nickname for a man who's about to enter the Second World War, but nevertheless, welcome back. I am afraid to say we have arrived at what could be the major RNG stumbling block of this Brazil run. So we need to get Portugal, and to my mind the easiest way to get Portugal is quite literally just to ask them to be annexed. Luckily, we have two outs in this endeavour. The United Kingdoms of Brazil and Portugal could give us a unification request, which they might accept, or we can just demand their subjugation. A little bit more aggressive could lead to conflict, but two chances, the polite way and the less polite way. Let's start with the polite way. Maybe they'll say yes. If they reject both, you might have to restart the run. Or I guess you could naval invade Portugal. Whatever seems more fun to you. Well. Look who said yes. Is that the achievement done? Oh, of course, we have to actually annex Portugal to get the achievement. Okay, we can do that. We just need to lower their autonomy. It's going to take a while, but we can 100% do that. At least now that we own Brazil, we can justify re-establishing the Empire of Brazil with some really good buffs actually. Yeah, we'll take them. The Empire of Brazil and Portugal. Why are there stormy clouds? That's kind of ominous, isn't it? With the Empire re-established, we can actually speedrun past that focus because we already did it and go straight down to restoring Brazilian honour. This removes two of the negative debuffs we actually have going for us. That being said, however, I'm actually going to go for the Cisplatine War. Have you heard these units when you click on them? Boy up. I really like it. Okay, in and out of Uruguay, 20-minute adventure, and the bandit leader was killed in a shootout. I guess he won't be leading the communist side of the focus tree in this playthrough. Oh, okay, the war goal is done. I guess this is just a run in and take them all down. Ba-ba. Do we have any bets on who's going to win this? Because I think I'm betting on myself. I'm not even sure they have enough troops fielded to really be able to stop me. Yeah, not really looking too good when you lose your capital there, Uruguay. So for the achievement, I'm not actually going to take the states, I'm just going to puppet Uruguay and take its navy. I suppose I could also take the civs inside of the capital too. Fair enough. That's a pretty nice puppet. Spain is almost done with their civil war, and I'm happy to say they've really struggled with it. They haven't been able to crack the democratic Spain. I am happy to report that Brazil is nowhere near as weak as it once was. With this newfound strength, I say we rekindle the Acre War and try and take down Bolivia. I've actually already set everyone up, they're just training, and then we can stick down some orders. Now, I'm not going to say this war is going to be as easy as Uruguay, because it's probably not, but it shouldn't be amazingly difficult either. I guess stick it on green and see how we do. It seems they really haven't even got their front line bordered correctly, so maybe it's going to be okay. Oh, no, we have found some troops. Okay, fair. I can't actually tell who's encircling who, but I think I'm encircling him, assuming we don't get cut off here. Oof, never mind. I think we escaped that fate. Honestly, I'd say things are going pretty well. Hopefully there's no, major conflict in Europe that will destabilise everything and put a halt to my plans. I'm happy to report that we've actually arrived basically at the choice where what foreign policy do we want to take as Brazil. So on the left, we have the good neighbour policy. This involves basically working with the United States and the Allies to win World War II. You also have the option to peacefully unite South America. There is, of course, the more flavourful side, the domination of the Americas, which involves forming America del Sur and gaining cores in South America. And basically, we're going for domination of the Americas. So between secure our borders and domination of the Americas, we've got division defence on core territory, but we've also got division defence, meaning there's two sources of division defence here. Combined, I really hope nobody's going to push us back. Oh, another flavour event, aftermath of the Chilean earthquake, an 8.3 on the Richter scale. Oh no. So, we have access to a mighty bucket full of different paths we can go down. There's the joining the Axis route, there's the forming a faction with Italy route, there's the forming our own faction route, and then there's the just going down domination of the South Americas, which I think we have to start with the Guyana crisis. Cross your fingers, we get the triple sweep. That's France. That's the Netherlands. But the UK. Ugh. Why did the British have to spoil everything? It seems that going for Rumble in the Jungle is going to be slightly more difficult when Britain hasn't given us British Guyana. Never mind. Regardless, we stay the course, and I think the next step is to form our own faction. Mercosur. Not sure if I'd call it that, but it is useful for getting an achievement. So, be in a faction with Uruguay. Well, we did that because we puppet them. And then we need to be at war with Argentina. We can do that too, but it would probably be useful if we took out Paraguay first. Intervention in Paraguay it is. Paraguay rejects the proposal. Hopefully this is just cutting through butter and shouldn't be too difficult at all. Well, at least the horses got through. Okay, hiding on 2 tiles, a tale as old as time. If we just focus the capital, I think they should be done. Wait, what? They're pushing out again. How on earth is this happening? I think when I went into Paraguay, every part of my supply just dipped into non-existence. Oh, and there goes World War II. Right on cue, I suppose. I think there's a lesson to be learned. The supply situation in this region, like the second you come off a tile into another tile, perfectly fine supply all the way around, and then I come off one and I'm down to no supply. So really building up the supply line and then just stopping could be a play. The other play is just being fast enough to like sneak around the border and take this tile. I really thought I had them, but I must have been just like a day too slow. So, in order to be helpful for when the Allies finally go against the German Reich, we kind of need to be more present in Europe. I think being in Portugal is a good start, but I actually have bigger ambitions. So why don't we deal with nationalist Spain now, and hopefully they shouldn't be too big of a problem. Since I'm going to be fighting in mainland Europe, I think I'm just going to keep it simple and go with superior firepower. We've been saving up some army XP, and I think now is an enemy where I truly might need the advantage. The justification is complete. How confident are we feeling? We've got some good lines going straight through the bottom and the top to hopefully get around Madrid. We've got a little naval invasion to maybe push through the front line in case we're very stagnant. We've started building up an agency so we get more coverage, which should help with the Oh, I think it just misses the invasion defense, but if nothing else it helps with more planning speed. We don't really have a good air force, but I think that should be enough. Okay, that appears to be green naval supremacy. Is that a... Oh, yep, that is a good invasion. Okay. And the United States is sponsoring our invasion. What can you read into that? Oh, a mixed bag. They appear to have brought all their units down to stop the naval invasion, but that means they've completely abandoned the actual front. So... Oh, it's literally not even been garrisoned. They must have seen that naval invasion and thought it was the end of the world. Let's last stand them so they can cause as much of a nuisance as possible for as long as possible. Just try and pick up encirclements where you can find them. But somehow those horses are still alive. I don't know how. If this war turns out to be easier than Paraguay, that speaks very heavily to the supply system in this game. Why are you standing outside of Madrid? Get that encirclement. Oh my goodness, you lost Madrid because you were AFK. What is his problem? Ah, who's encircling who now? I think I've got the north secured. Almost all the ports have been taken and things are looking pretty grim. Pushing up well in the north in Bilbao. Oh, and they lost their final port too. Okay, I'm feeling very confident about the north. I'm afraid their line is really breaking now. Even in places where they're making pushes, I feel like they're not fully defending the line. I just need to relocate these units back to where they should be and close these pockets. Okay, this time we do take Madrid. Yes we do. That's good. If we're very lucky and we play our cards very right, this could be quite the encirclement. Oh. Well, fine. I won't encircle 15 troops if you're going to be like that about it. So, because it is within our interest to eventually join the Allies, we're not really allowed to generate a megaton of world tension. As a result, I think our best bet is just pop it everything, and then we're just hovering above 10%. That means that when given like a year or two, we should be able to join the Allies, and they won't hate us as much as they perhaps otherwise would. Oh yeah, 20% world tension. That's going to take a good year maybe to finally come down. Thinking it through though, would it be so bad to destroy our faction entirely? Maybe find some potential allies in Europe? And prepare for a slight skirmish on the northern Spanish border. And yes, our threat should go down, but maybe it can go up before it goes down. And just like that, we join the Axis. Maybe a little bit ironic, considering the goal is to make them lose and join the Allies, but you know, let's play the fifth column. Let's tear them down from the inside. If nothing else, we can use this time to start building up influence in Portugal so that we can eventually annex them and get the achievement. I do believe our justification for Senegal is good to go. So I'm really hoping this should be a pretty straightforward war. I mean, we already have troops in Africa thanks to taking Spain, and we have a border against Vichy France itself. We just need to make sure to actually call Spain in. Oh yeah, those bubbles look green to me. Basically no difficulty at all. War in South America? Oh, I think Oscar's going after Ecuador. He's trying to take Pastaza. Don't do anything sussy like take the entirety of Ecuador, okay? This is on historical. No just annexing Ecuador off the map.
No promises, lil bro.
Oh good, a white piece. Nothing too dramatic then. Not too much left of Vichy France now. Basically taken North Africa by just skimming along the coast. And they're holding out a little bit in Marseille, but not for much longer. And there goes Vichy France. So there's no real other way around it. You kind of just have to take core French territory, because if you don't, when we eventually do join the Allies, Free France will kind of restore it. So probably something we want to avoid. That being said though, I have been wondering about how we get past this whole world tension thing, and what if Brazil was to take a more wholesome path? To really turn over a new leaf and redefine what it means to be an empire. What if we just liberate Africa? I mean, that's surely got to make us seem not so bad, right? Yes, I think hopefully this should go quite nicely. Well, the Treaty of Djibouti. Hopefully that amount of liberation has gone over well with the locals. I'm not sure how my PC is going to appreciate it, but hopefully our personal threat isn't as high as it could have been. Now I'm afraid begins the great wait, because everything I'm going to basically do now involves waiting for Barbarossa to push all the way up to Moscow and just wait for my threat to go down. As a side note though, you have to be very cautious of Portugal. Even though they are our puppet, they are still non-aligned, and Britain still has the option to ask for the Azores Islands inside of one of their decisions. The only way I think you can get around this is by being in a faction, and currently we're in the Axis. So I might stay in the Axis indefinitely, just so that we can annex Portugal and then leave. All the hurdles we have to jump through. Oh, the Allies took down Sardinia. Oh, that's pretty useful. One less thing for me to deal with, I suppose. Completing financial simulation has unlocked a series of decisions to invest in the Empire of Brazil. I just didn't realise how many decisions we'd have access to. This is quite a lot of development we have to go through. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I'm just surprised. Vichy holds on to Syria. I'm not too sure they do. I think I hold on to Syria. Big news just in. The United Kingdom hates us less than 100. Oh, that's good news indeed. That means we can get positive if we improve relations with them. We are not out of the game yet. I knew they'd forgive me for effectively annexing Iberia, North Africa and southern France. You know, it's a small thing. It can be easily forgiven. What in oblivion is happening over here? Ooh, wait a second. The resource is capitalized like the B in bauxite here, but the O is not capitalized in the resource of oil with the new decision. Minor localization error. Worst DLC ever. Portugal goes from puppet to integrated puppet, and that means we're less than 1,000 ticks away from getting the achievement. Take it. Eat all my civs and ports. They're all for you. The United States join the Allies, and I think that is Barbarossa has just begun. We're in the end game now. The Allies have landed in Napoli. How good are they doing here? If I see Italy explode, I might need to join the Allies a bit sooner than I thought. Oh my goodness, the Allies are going crazy again. Okay, just because Rome's fallen doesn't mean Italy is about to explode, right? Why doesn't Mussolini guard his ports? The world wonders. In positive news, we are actually sub 30 in personal threat, down to 27.5. I think if we reach 20%, I'm sure that Britain will let us in the faction. Wait, the oil decision is repeatable. Oh goodness me, Paraguay's hiding on a treasure trove of oil. I had no idea. Well. Now what does that button mean? I do believe, with any luck, we can now annex Portugal. Ho. And that should mean, once I press play, I'm home, as Brazil occupy every core of Portugal. Because I'm playing on pre-release, of course, there was no actual art for it, but we got it. We got it. It does also mean that I'm going to start spamming out a ton of mills in my own territory. I think that trying to annex Portugal has effectively jackknifed my economy. That looks to me like a successful allied invasion of Italy, and they're not even near Stalingrad yet. To what extent do we think we should maybe, I don't know, join the Allies around now? I guess this is one of those now or never moments. We're at 23% threat, so let's see if the Allies are willing to take us in. Maybe not just yet. That being said, however, if we were to justify on, let's say, Slovakia, I'm pretty sure we should be able to get on board and help them in their ordeal. Well, thanks for making my border against Italy completely useless, Britain. It's not like I was intending to, invade for Italy or anything. No, it's fine, please, by all means. Okay, justification complete, and I'm not necessarily seeing anybody on the border. My only concern is my lack of manpower, but once we declare the war and give it a bit, we should be able to move up our conscription law. The big question is, are we allowed to join the Allies? I guess there's only one way to find out. Off we go. Oh, the United Kingdom wants us to join the Allies. You know what? Because you asked so nicely. And away the troops go. We're going to have to slightly move up the Italian line because the diplomatic situation has not necessarily developed to Brazil's advantage. Seems like Paris is open to me as we continue to push them back. And yeah, let's see if we can also take the northern ports. The liberation of Paris in 1942. Oh, I think the British have actually started joining us on the front line. They were a little bit slow, but maybe they've come over and started to believe. Brazil is a new world power. Oh, and I should mention, I also landed in Denmark. I felt that somebody had to do an actual D-Day, considering I'd stolen the opportunity of northern France. Okay, Belgium has come back to life. Tony Blair? Also, Chile enacts a proactive defence. Who on earth are they going after? They're after Japan. Fair enough. Somehow I actually think we're gonna secure Denmark, which is definitely not what I thought was going to happen. I didn't even get any allied support up here, I'm just on my own. Finland and Soviet Union in white peace means Soviet Union has more troops on the German border. They kick me from the faction! Why would they do such a thing? Well, it's good to see the United Kingdom has effectively allowed me to reject my own border by kicking me from the faction. And the Snake Smoked definitely requires me to be in a faction with the UK. So them kicking me out of the faction doesn't play too well to my intentions. Oh, we want me back in the faction now, do we? Oh, have we changed our mind? On a serious note, we should probably just make sure that we're boosting our opinion with Britain as much as we can, as often as we can. Okay, let's see if we can't claw out some war score by going and taking down Brest. I mean, somebody's got to do it. The Iranian Communist Authority. I'm just glad it's not on a historical game. Oof. That was a lot of troops gone. Yes, another 2% added to the pile. It's going to be hard to try and claw Brandenburg from these vultures, but it's not going to stop me from trying. Oh my goodness, that's a full-blown Dutch D-Day. It seems the Brits have done something. Okay, I don't want to be left out of the fun. Send the troops immediately. We've got a naval invasion to go for. In fact, we should probably push in the north, just to ensure we get our nut. Remember, the game plan is Berlin, and maybe cutting through the north could be our best bet. To the victor go the spoils. The Brandenburg Gate is ours. The true trial of allegiance is trying to stay in the Allies without Britain kicking me out. We are pushing, and it is one hell of a push too. Okay, I think we're taking the Kiel Canal, which means we should have more troops to push for Berlin. Things are going to get a little bit dicey with supply, but the manpower has started steaming back in. 3 tiles from Berlin. 2 tiles from Berlin. Oh no, and 24 more units have just entered the arena. I'm half tempted to just declare on this Denmark over here, but I'm a bit worried they might overwhelm me. What do we think? I think I'm going to leave them. They can survive for now. I've got bigger fish to fry. The battle for Berlin is in full force right now. Get me that city. Hello, where is my Fall of Berlin event? If we can push out to Stettin, we should be able to free more troops to fully secure the state of Brandenburg. I'm thinking it's what, 4 or 5 more tiles? Oh, you bet they're planning Yalta. Oh, you know it. I better have gotten an invite. I'm practically doing all the work, let's be real. Wait, have we arrived in Poland? We are the liberators of Poland. I don't actually believe it. Oh, of course, because of Yalta, now they get cores on this territory. This must really put a dampen on the German supply chain. We are heading for Danzig. And war. Oh, come on. Yes, I'll improve relations with you again. Okay, we now hold Brandenburg. But we're out of the Allies, so we're going to have to hopefully get another invite from old confused Churchill over here. I really don't think the AI should be kicking you from a faction when you're clearly on the same side in a conflict. I love how we were making such good progress and then Britain just decided, actually, no, your fun ends now. We're actually only 2 tiles away from Prague. I mean, who doesn't want to have a quick trip to Prague? There goes Leipzig. I don't really want to get bogged down fighting the forts in Sudetenland. Is it possible we can refocus our efforts on going for Nuremberg? Well, look who wants me back for the 3rd time. I think I will probably be spearheading this push all the way to the finish line. I don't trust the Allies to really do anything. I've had to switch over to supply map mode to actually see where all the supply hubs are, so this push can actually go effectively. So Germany's at 74% of the way towards capitulation, and I'm sitting at a nice 10% participation. Not quite as much as the 25% of Britain, but we've beaten the United States. It's annoying that I'm taking these tiles for the Allies, but if I don't, who will? Chile announces a naval expansion? Ooh, it's an arms race then, is it? Funnily enough, that means I'm straight back down to only 6 national spirits, which is kind of funny for a late game Brazil. Oh yes, I got kicked from the faction again, for no reason. Nice. And back in again. What is happening? We really need to finish this war before they kick me out again, because I wouldn't want them, like, the war to end, and we're not in the Allies. That would be unfortunate. Okay, crossing Charles Bridge into Old Town. It's a race to Vienna. The British are in the left and I'm in the north. Just whatever you do, avoid Brno. It's pretty close. It's very close indeed. Is Vienna open? Can we just walk in? The German Reich has capitulated. Oof, it partly fell to us, partly fell to the United Kingdom. Oh no, but they didn't. Oh, we got robbed of Vienna. But hey, that should be an achievement, right? Once I hit on pause and the snake smoked. I didn't get a notification. Here it is. As Brazil and the Allies capitulate Germany while controlling Berlin. Completed. Okay, so I did get the achievement, but it didn't trigger on Steam. Ah, and the war is over. Now, as predicted, I did not get too much from the Treaty of Berlin. Italy, of course, went over there. The Yalta happened pretty much as one might expect, with the slight addition of me owning this nice northern section. I also decided I was going to be the owner of Königsberg, because, I mean, somebody has to be, right? And as my final statement on the matter, I made sure that I would take Kosovo, so that nobody could complain about Kosovo if Yugoslavia should ever collapse. All in all, it's not too dissimilar from what one might actually expect from the oncoming Cold War. Poland just got lucky this time and actually managed to stay in the Allies. With that all being said, I think I'm ready to wrap up this campaign. There are other achievements to get, but I think I'll get them at another time. So, what are we doing last? I think we need to go to war with Argentina. Let's leave the faction and then justify. They're in the Allies, but I'm pretty sure that the consequence of this doesn't necessarily require us to win the war. We just have to be at war. It brings a tear to my eye. Before the video ends, I just wanted to take one last look at the Empire, what we achieved. This is a pretty good showing in Europe, Africa, we're in Syria funnily enough, and of course we've even reached as far as Scandinavia. The justification is ready. Where is my achievement? And then we just hit play. Cisplatin War 2 Electric Boogaloo. And so with that, I'm going to leave this video here. 3 achievements, a pretty good success all in all, just showing off what you could do with Brazil, and I'd say you could have gone way further than this. I didn't form the nation to core the entirety of South America. I didn't take advantage of early conquests. I was very focused on joining the Allies, so I didn't do anywhere near as much as I could have done. All in all, this is just one of the pretty expansive focus trees for the free nations with Trial of Allegiance, and with that there'll be more achievements and formable nations that we can do, so keep an eye out for that. But in total, I'll say thank you very much for watching. If you liked the Empire of Brazil and Portugal, I'll say feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!